This game is bad. Well, the Switch version is, at least. Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm telling you to stay the fuck away from the Nintendo Switch version of the House of the Dead remake. The House of the Dead was an arcade shooter set in a horror B-movie setting. You had to shoot zombies and other monsters to stay alive and save civilians to collect points and stock up on extra lives to get all the way to the end. The remake does the same. I mean, it is a remake. Your character still moves automatically forward, looks around on his own, and it's your job to kill all the monsters in his path before they beat him to a pulp. With its shotgun controllers, the game was a hit in the arcades back in the day, and it had a few ports for home systems. It was a schlocky horror experience with lots of blood and gore, so it was the perfect game for waving plastic guns around. It's not as much fun with a mouse, so if you really want to play those games on PC, try Typing of the Dead. It's just awesome. This video though is about the remake for pretty much all current systems, and I can't really recommend it. The game is playable with a controller, though I wouldn't describe it as fun, and while mouse controls on PC are precise and do their job perfectly well, it kinda defeats the point of a light gun shooter. Nah, this is the perfect game for motion controls. I don't know how this game fares on PS4 and 5, but on the Nintendo Switch it controls horribly. The gyro aiming desinks after a few moments. Even the tiny motion when pressing the trigger or the rumble vibration is enough to throw it off. So you're fighting your controller more than you do the hordes of monsters. And it didn't make much of a difference whether I used the Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller. Using the gyro controls to hit anything is nearly impossible. Well, maybe not impossible, but certainly not a good time. But hey, I thought, maybe I'm just playing it wrong. This isn't a game to park your fat ass on the couch and swing two silly little controller halves around. So I bought myself a neat little shotgun controller shell, got my own fat ass off the couch and gave the game another spin. My verdict? The game is still shit. It doesn't work. The same problems still apply. It is fun to aim with a gun at the screen. Too bad that after 5 seconds you have to aim behind you to hit anything because the desync is so bad. I found that the best way to control the game, still not optimal, but the best that's possible with this version, is to use the thumbstick for aiming and turning the sensitivity way up because it will still be slow as fuck. And use the gyro controls on top of it, to be a tiny bit more flexible when aiming with the sticks. Just play around with the gyro, dead zone and sensitivity, because we only want to use it for small adjustments. It still wasn't very fun, but it worked better than any other way. What pisses me off about this is that we already had the perfect House of the Dead experience with motion controls on the Nintendo Wii. The Wii remote worked so much better because it was used as a pointer. A small camera in the remote tracked the sensor bar on top of the TV, so it always knew where the playing area was. It had its own little problems. For example, you had to sit the right distance away from the TV for it to work properly. Something that isn't an issue with gyro controls, but there was never any desynchronization. The pointer controls were so precise that, when it was set up right, it was possible to even turn off the crosshairs and aim down the sides of your plastic gun to mow down the zombies. The Wii, and by extension the Wii U, was the perfect console for rail shooters. The PlayStation Move and VR also work remarkably well for motion aiming, as proven by the incredible Doom 3 VR remake. It works so well because there's always a camera or sensor in use to keep track of the player in relation to the playing area. Gyro controls are fine, even great when used as a supplement to traditional controls, or when they don't need to be too precise, but not as the only or at least a major form of control in a fast-paced shooter. And so there was never a chance for the Switch version to control as well as any rail shooter on the Wii, right? I mean, it's not like there's a fucking camera in one of the Joy-Cons. A camera they showed off during the Switch reveal, and never really used outside of 1-2 Switch and the Nintendo Labo, and it was ingeniously employed in there. Yeah, the camera is on the bottom of the controller and you can't reach the trigger buttons when pointing it at the screen. But that's where the second Joy-Con comes into play. Swap the two Joy-Cons around, point the camera with the left hand and pull the trigger with the right one. At least if you're right-handed, that is. And they could have even designed a shotgun controller case for exactly that purpose. I bought the collector's edition that comes with a cool 3D cover and some zombie cardboard stand-ups, which is nice, but it could have been bundled with said shotgun controller. That is, if the damn game used the camera, which it doesn't. It's just a wasted opportunity and ruins the whole experience. No, I can't recommend this game. And I didn't even touch on the poor performance and how the game doesn't know how to handle the extra zombies in Horde mode. Well, now you know. If you really want a true rail shooter experience in your living room, invest in a Wii or Wii U, though chances are you already have a Wii lying around somewhere. Buy 1 or 2 pistol shells and play one of those games. Have a great day, that's it from Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.